What's up, guys? It's Flossin. So, Zenless has recently introduced a new type of damage this patch, that being Aftershock. We've had some time to play with both Ambi and Pulchra, those two being the first Aftershock agents, and now we've got our next Aftershock agent coming, that being Trigger. Now, Trigger is someone that I've been super excited for ever since she was teased in Soldier 11's side quest, and now that she's officially in the game for us to play around and test her, I really want to talk to you guys about her. So today, we're going to talk about Trigger. I'll briefly cover her kit, if she's saving attack agents or not, and if she's really worth pulling for new and veteran players. Also, I mainly want to talk about her because I get to spread Obol Squad propaganda, so that's fun.
Soldier 11 for life, baby!
If you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's completely free and lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Now, with formalities out of the way, let's talk games. So, it's time to talk about Miss Thickums. First off, I won't lie, I completely forgot I didn't give Trigger her own dedicated video, even though I'm an absolute simp for this character. Kinda crazy, but it is what it is. Anyway, Trigger is our next electric stunner coming to Zenless Zone Zero, and she specializes in aftershock attacks. The majority of her value is going to come from her off-field presence. She's able to increase the stun gauge while off-field and also boost the damage multiplier on enemies by 35%, basically permanently. So, to put it simply, having Trigger deal her aftershock attacks gives you free damage outside of stun windows. This is amazing for any agent who usually dishes out damage during stun, i.e. Soldier 11, Anton, and even Juyuin in some cases. But in short, basically anyone that isn't an anomaly agent is benefiting from Trigger. Although there are a couple of anomaly agents that are outliers from this, more on that later. Anyway, during this patch, we were given a side quest for Soldier Zero Ambi, where we got to test and play Trigger ourselves, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about from my limited testing. The first is her Purge meter. This meter is how Trigger procs her aftershock attacks. It's located underneath her health bar in battle, and increases by holding her basic attack when hitting an enemy. After that, switching to another agent and using their basic attacks or special attacks will trigger Trigger's aftershock attacks. Man, that was a hard sentence to say. But one thing I noticed while testing Trigger is that this meter does not run out. Like, at all. I tried draining it myself on purpose, and I'll be honest, it just would not deplete. This is great, especially when you compare her to Pulchra, who has a fixed amount of aftershock charges. 6 at M0 and 8 at M6 if I remember correctly. So Trigger not having a cap already makes her a massive upgrade from Pulchra. And that's not even considering her EX special or ultimate, which completely stops her purge meter from draining for a short period. Essentially, you'd have to actively try to drain Trigger's aftershock potential for it to ever stop working. So throughout the entire battle, she's going to be constantly increasing days and the damage multiplier that enemies have. So that's the main premise of what you need to know about her kit. Now I want to talk about who Trigger works well with before we dive into if she's really worth pulling. So recently I've been on YouTube and I've seen some recommendations popping up lately. Things like Trigger is going to save attack agents or she's going to end the anomaly meta. And in my honest opinion, I can kind of agree, but I mostly disagree. And here's why. So to put it simply, there's no doubt in my mind that Trigger's best teammate is Soldier Zero Ambi. This isn't surprising given their aftershock synergy. Trigger's banner is also rerunning right after Ambi, and we've seen this trend before. Agents next to each other in banner cycles tend to have great synergy. Also, Trigger's additional ability increases her day's potential based on her crit rate, up to a max of 90%. Now, a buff like this definitely screams build me with crit-based agents, which yes, does include attack agents, but there's actually 3 anomaly agents that really stand out from benefiting from having Trigger, and those agents are Bernice, Miyabi, and Yanagi. These 3 are the main reasons I don't think attack will ever be quote-unquote better than anomaly, at least for now. Essentially, all 3 of these anomaly-based agents can be built as crit-based agents, meaning they'll benefit from stun agents like Trigger. When Bernice came out, we saw a lot of people run both anomaly builds and crit-based builds with Inferno Metal and Woodpecker. I even did an account review live on stream with someone who had a crit based Bernice build, and I took her into Deadly Assault and she cleared perfectly fine. Also, same thing with Yanagi. She can be used either as a battery for Miyabi's basic attack or a hyper carry electric DPS agent. And because she's on the field majority of the time, being an on-field DPS, she really benefits from her attacks critting, on top of dealing her polarity disorder. And finally, Miyabi, I mean, let's be real. Miyabi is just a pseudo attack agent. She gets massive value from crit investment, which makes her naturally deal even more damage in stun windows. I mean, even her signature W engine scales with crit rate, so it's no surprise that she wants to be dealing crit based damage. Now, of course, Miyabi is just insanely strong in this game, with or without trigger, rip M6 Ellen, but it is important to bring up that they do have some type of synergy. So my take is this. Yes, I think trigger will help a lot of attack agents when she's released, but no. I don't think she makes attack agents better than anomaly agents. I believe attack agents will benefit the most from having trigger because her additional ability either wants an attack agent or someone who shares the same attribute as her. But I don't believe she's going to be a turning point agent like Astra Yao, for example. Anyway, final thing I wanted to touch on is whether you should pull trigger or not. And I think this question is a little bit more complicated than it seems. More so for new players instead of veterans. So I'll start with new players first. Should you be pulling trigger? I've seen your comments and your concerns, and here's my take. If you started playing this patch for Ambi, or maybe you didn't get Ambi and now you're looking at trigger, I think she's still one of the best pickups for your account right now. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to tell you to wait for Astra, or wait for this unit, wait for that one, but Astra was literally last patch in 1.5, so we don't know when she's going to be back. And on top of that, we already know what the two next banners are going to be, that being Vivian and Hugo, both of which are DPS agents. So at this point in the game, Trigger is the only agent we know right now who doesn't exist to deal damage. She can deal damage, but her utility is the main reason why you want her on a team. And her days is nothing to scoff at. In my honest opinion, there's always going to be a new DPS unit to pick up, but it is rare to get a support type unit that has this level of utility. Also, keep in mind, Hugo and Vivian's banners will run for a 6-week period combined. And when you add Trigger's banner on top of that, you're looking at over 2 months before the next chance at something new. And that's just guessing, because we don't know what the drip marketing is after Hugo and Vivian. So if you're new and you are trying to build a well-rounded account, I really do think Trigger is worth grabbing. And since Aftershock is still new and Zenless, there's no doubt we'll see more agents in the future patches who benefit from this mechanic. Now, for my veteran players, this one is a little more straightforward. If you pulled Ambi, you should definitely be considering Trigger as your next pull. Can they work without each other? Absolutely, but as we've seen, they were made to go together. Trigger wants to be off-field, Ambi wants to stay on-field as much as possible, and they both deal aftershock damage. It's also important to point out that while Trigger benefits from crit rate, Ambi benefits from crit damage, thanks to her core passive that boosts crit damage of aftershock attacks. That's just more natural synergy between the two. But like I said in my last video, this doesn't mean that you need Trigger. If you don't have the means to pull for her, then don't stress about it. You should never feel pressured to grab an agent or spend money just because some idiot on the internet told you they work well together. That idiot being me, of course. But as for me, I will be pulling Trigger, testing her out with agents that I have on my account, and giving you guys a full breakdown of how she feels in practice. Also, I get to run a full Obol squad comp, and that's super sick. But yeah, I think that's enough yapping out of me. Guys, I'll be honest, time flies. Trigger is right around the corner, and soon enough, Vivian and Hugo will be on their way as well. And I'm sure we'll see some drip marketing of our 1.8 agents during Trigger's banner cycle. 1.8, 2.0, who knows? I'm just guessing. But because of this hype for all these new agents, this whole thing has me really curious. What do you guys think? How do you feel about Trigger now that you've had a chance to try her out? Do you like her, hate her, and are you planning to pick her up when she comes out? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. It's completely free and lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Until next time though, happy gaming.
Bye.
and may your pulls be ever in your favor.